What is going on, everyone? Captain Spicy Pants here. So I did a thing. I bought the Gom'tuu on day one.
Are you serious?
Now, before we even get into the stats, the seating, or the 5 million dilithium buyout, we have to talk about the most important part of Star Trek Online. Space Barbie. Visually, this thing is fantastic. Vanity shields look incredibly clean on it, and right now, I'm running the Riemann shield, and honestly, I have a chromed out pine cone, and I'm totally here for it. Thank you, Cryptic. If you want a unique looking ship that turns heads in sector space, this is S tier alone for the looks and the pure fun factor. But once you step inside, the hype deflates a little bit. Cryptic gave us a custom bridge, and while it is aesthetically beautiful and pleasing to the eye, it feels like a missed opportunity. It's a very small, confined space. They showed off this awesome corridor on their live stream, but you can't even go back there. If only they had opened that door, the immersion would have been next level. As for functionality, it's pretty generic. We get the standard account bank, duty officer assignments, library files, and a small shuttle selector that honestly feels a bit dated. They had a real chance here to make this space unique. Imagine if they added the exchange itself. Instead, it's just the same old stuff in a pretty organic shell. Let's talk stats and layout, because this is where things get interesting. On paper, it's awesome. It's a 4-4 science boat, which is one of a kind right now. The console layout isn't terrible at all, but where it completely starts to fall apart is the bridge officer stations. This is a science ship, so I have no idea why the temporal seating was slapped onto the tactical station. I would have much preferred it on the engineering seat or even a universal lieutenant station. Because it's locked to TAC, your choices for slotting abilities gets incredibly confined. Yes, I was able to slot 8 control abilities, which is great for the current unconventional systems meta, but I had to sacrifice a lot of meaningful tactical choices just to get that temporal seating working. And sure, you can put another TAC officer in the universal slot like I did, but for a science boat, that means you're giving up meaningful science choices. Plus, your remaining science stations are narrowed down because it shares a miracle worker seat. It was incredibly frustrating to bridge officer buy, but we made it work for our mine science build. Speaking of the build, let's talk about the console and the starship trait. I'll admit, I struggled with the console at first, and it probably needs a bit more testing. Ultimately, I settled on slotting it in the science slot to drop enemy shield power. The shield drain portion felt pretty lackluster, and while the auxiliary drain is there, I have ways of keeping my auxiliary alive, so I didn't really notice it. The saving grace, the kinetic damage explosion is actually rather nice. One huge thing to keep in mind for build planners, this console does not cool down immediately on use with the Woven, Harmony, and Uncon combo. The cooldown cycle only starts after the stacks build up and it releases its damage. So if you're looking for a console you can constantly spam, this isn't it. You can fire it off in a decent window, which is fine, but it's not a spam machine. Now for the starship trait, I didn't even slot it. Shocker, right? You're supposed to fully test a ship when you get it, but I honestly cannot justify a trait with a cooldown this long taking over any of my passive damage boost traits. If they lowered the cooldown to something like once every 20 seconds, I would consider revisiting it. I've seen it in action on the official stream, but it just didn't scream at me to test it for myself. I had zero desire to run it. Now, it sounds like I'm just complaining, but I actually have some major positives here. To fair test this thing, I didn't even T6X2 it. I used a free T6 upgrade from my Jem'Hadar Vanguard to only upgrade it once. On top of that, I ran it on a themed character, my Vulcan Science Officer, which means no alien extra trait slot. So missing one universal console slot, missing a starship trait, and missing a character trait slot, this ship still absolutely performs in Elite TFOs. I threw a goofy, mixed mine science build on here and somehow managed to pull 300k DPS. I'm going to link the live stream below in the description and the time slot where you can fast forward to so you know where I'm at when we built this live and tested it. The science abilities did most of the heavy lifting here, but it proves that whether you build this neat and tidy or just throw something goofy on it for fun, it is highly functional and a blast to play. People complained about it being a little slow and sluggish, but with the competitive engines and control abilities, that was a complete non-factor for me. Honestly, slowing things down was a bit nice. This brings us to the final verdict. The fun factor in Space Barbie, this is an easy S tier. The fact that it's a 4-4 science boat with great console layout, also S tier. But the bad, the stations, the trait, and the console are simply put
terrible.
Thanks, Spencer. They need some serious love in that department. So overall, I give the Gom'tuu a B-. Will you enjoy the ship? I think so. Will you get great vanity shield looks? Hell yeah. Can you perform in high-end content? Absolutely. And really, that answers the most important questions of why you want to ship in the first place. If you're chasing absolute tip of the spear elite meta play, this won't do it, and that's okay. Not every ship needs to be the top DPS chaser. In the right hands, if you know how to build even remotely, you will turn this thing into a beast. So can I justify the 5 million dilithium buyout? For me personally, yes. But everyone's value of their time in dilithium is different. I think 5 million is a bit high, but thank God they have it from the original 10 million they talked about. Decide on your own reasons for wanting it early and make your own informed choice. Don't just do what a content creator tells you to do. Even though I just told you to make your own choice, that's not the point. I'm not your real mom. I can't tell you what to do. Anyways, I'm Captain Spicy Pants, and I'll see you on the frontier.